Most people live their entire lives never discovering what they're truly capable of. They settle for less. They accept mediocrity. They make excuses instead of making progress. But not you. Not today. Today you're going to learn about the most important skill you can ever develop, the ability to push yourself when nobody else will. Let me tell you something that might shock you. Success is not about talent. It's not about luck. It's not about having the right connections or being born into the right family. Success is about developing the discipline to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. That's what separating yourself from the crowd is all about. That's what pushing yourself really means. I've spent decades studying successful people, and I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Every single person who has achieved something significant in their life had to push themselves beyond their comfort zone. They had to do things that scared them. They had to take action when they didn't feel ready. They had to persist when everything inside them wanted to quit. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is not that successful people don't feel fear, doubt, or resistance. The difference is that they push through it anyway. They understand that growth and comfort cannot coexist. They know that if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. Think about this for a moment. Every single day you have a choice. You can choose to push yourself or you can choose to coast. You can choose to challenge yourself or you can choose to stay comfortable. You can choose to grow or you can choose to remain the same. The beautiful thing about life is that these choices are always yours to make. Nobody can make them for you and nobody can take them away from you. But here's what I want you to understand. Your life will be a direct reflection of the choices you make consistently, day after day, year after year. If you consistently choose the easy path, your life will be difficult. If you consistently choose the difficult path, your life will be easy. That's one of the great paradoxes of life. And it's something that most people never figure out. When I say push yourself, I'm not talking about driving yourself into the ground. I'm not talking about working yourself to exhaustion or ignoring your health and relationships. I'm talking about something much more profound. I'm talking about developing the mental discipline to do what you know you should do, even when you don't feel like doing it. You see, we all have two voices inside our heads. One voice says, you can do it. You have what it takes. Go for it. The other voice says, it's too hard. You're not ready. What if you fail? The voice you listen to will determine the quality of your life. The voice you feed will grow stronger. The voice you starve will grow weaker. Successful people have learned to feed the right voice. They've learned to push past the voice of doubt and fear. They've developed what I call the discipline of doing. They do what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. And here's the amazing thing. The more you practice this discipline, the easier it becomes. Let me share with you the fundamental truth about human potential. You have more ability than you're currently using. You have more strength than you're currently demonstrating. You have more intelligence than you're currently applying. You have more courage than you're currently expressing. The question is not whether you have what it takes. The question is whether you're willing to push yourself to discover what you have. Most people live far below their potential because they've accepted limitations that don't really exist. They bought into the lie that they're just average, that they don't have what it takes, that success is for other people. But that's not true. The only difference between you and the most successful person you know is that they decided to push themselves consistently, while most people push themselves occasionally. Consistency is the mother of mastery. It's not what you do once in a while that shapes your life. It's what you do consistently. If you want to transform your life, you must transform your daily habits. You must push yourself to do the things that successful people do day after day, until those things become automatic. Think about the areas of your life where you know you could be doing better. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your career. Maybe it's your relationships. Maybe it's your personal development. Whatever it is, you know what you need to do. The question is not what to do. The question is whether you're willing to push yourself to do it. Here's something that might surprise you. The biggest enemy of your success is not external circumstances. It's not the economy. It's not your background. It's not other people. The biggest enemy of your success is your own comfort zone. Your comfort zone is where dreams go to die. It's where potential gets buried. It's where mediocrity feels comfortable. But here's the good news. You can choose to leave your comfort zone anytime you want. You can choose to push yourself into the realm of possibility. You can choose to step into the arena where champions are made. The only question is whether you will. I want you to understand something about comfort zones. They're not really comfortable. They're familiar, but they're not comfortable. When you're living below your potential, when you're not pushing yourself to grow and improve, there's a deep dissatisfaction that eats away at you. There's a voice inside that keeps whispering, you could be doing more. You could be more. That voice is not your enemy. That voice is your friend. That voice is trying to wake you up. That voice is trying to remind you of who you really are and what you're really capable of. The tragedy is that most people try to silence that voice instead of listening to it. They try to make it go away instead of following where it leads. But what if you decided to listen to that voice? What if you decided to push yourself in the direction of your dreams? What if you decided to make something happen instead of waiting for something to happen? Your life would change dramatically, and it would change quickly. Let me tell you about the compound effect of pushing yourself. When you push yourself today, you don't just change today. You change tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. Every time you push yourself beyond what's comfortable, you expand what's possible. Every time you do something that challenges you, you become someone who is capable of more challenging things. This is how ordinary people become extraordinary, not through one giant leap, but through thousands of small pushes. Not through one moment of inspiration, but through months and years of perspiration. Not through luck or talent alone, but through the decision to consistently push themselves beyond what they thought was possible. I want you to think about this. What would your life look like 1 year from now if you started pushing yourself today? What would be different? How would you feel? What would you have accomplished? What kind of person would you have become? Now think about this. What will your life look like 1 year from now if you don't push yourself? If you continue doing what you've always done, you'll continue getting what you've always gotten. If you don't change, nothing changes. If you don't push yourself, nobody else will. The time for waiting is over. The time for wishing is over. The time for hoping someone else will come along and change your life is over. The time for pushing yourself is now. The time for making it happen is now. The time for taking control of your destiny is now. But pushing yourself is not just about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about being strategic. It's about focusing your energy on the things that matter most. It's about developing the wisdom to know the difference between activity and achievement, between motion and progress, between being busy and being productive. You see, some people think that pushing yourself means doing more of everything. But that's not true. Pushing yourself means doing more of the right things and less of the wrong things. It means saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great opportunities. It means being disciplined about your time, your energy, and your attention. Here's a question that will change your life if you answer it honestly. What are you currently doing that you know you should stop doing? What are you currently not doing that you know you should start doing? The answers to these questions will show you exactly where you need to push yourself. Most people know what they should be doing. They know they should be eating better, exercising more, reading more, learning new skills, building better relationships, saving more money, and pursuing their dreams with more intensity. The problem is not knowledge. The problem is implementation. The problem is the gap between knowing and doing. That gap is where you need to push yourself. That gap is where your future is waiting for you. That gap is where transformation happens. But you have to be willing to step into that gap. You have to be willing to feel uncomfortable. You have to be willing to do things before you feel ready to do them. Let me share with you one of the most powerful principles I've ever learned. You don't have to feel like doing something to do it well. In fact, some of the most important things you'll ever do, you won't feel like doing when you need to do them. But if you wait until you feel like it, you'll be waiting forever. Successful people have learned to act in spite of their feelings. They've learned to push themselves even when they don't feel motivated. They've learned that motivation follows action, not the other way around. They know that if they wait for motivation to strike, they'll be waiting a long time. The secret is to start before you feel ready. The secret is to begin before you have all the answers. The secret is to take action while others are still making excuses. The secret is to push yourself when pushing yourself is the last thing you want to do. Think about the most successful period of your life. I guarantee you that during that time you were pushing yourself regularly. You were stepping out of your comfort zone. You were doing things that challenged you. You were growing, learning, and becoming more than you were before. Now think about the least successful period of your life. During that time you were probably coasting. You were probably avoiding challenges. You were probably staying comfortable. You were probably not pushing yourself to grow and improve. This is not a coincidence. This is cause and effect. When you push yourself, you get results. When you don't push yourself, you don't get results. It's that simple, and it's that profound. But here's what I want you to understand. Pushing yourself is not a one-time event. It's not something you do once and then you're done. It's a way of life. It's a commitment you make to yourself every single day. It's a promise you keep to become the best version of yourself. Some days it will be easy to push yourself. Some days you'll feel motivated and inspired and ready to take on the world. But other days it will be difficult. Other days you'll feel tired and discouraged and ready to quit. Those are the days that matter most. Those are the days that separate the champions from the also-rans. Those are the days when pushing yourself makes the biggest difference. I want to tell you about the incredible power of incremental improvement. You don't have to become perfect overnight. You don't have to transform your entire life in a week. You just have to get a little bit better every day. You just have to push yourself a little bit further every day. The compound effect of these small improvements will amaze you. If you improve just 1% every day, you'll be 37 times better in 1 year. That's the power of consistency. That's the power of pushing yourself regularly instead of occasionally. That's the power of making small improvements that add up to massive transformations. But most people don't understand this. They want instant results. They want overnight success. They want to change their lives without changing themselves. They want the rewards of discipline without the pain of discipline. They want to make it happen without pushing themselves to make it happen. That's not how life works. That's not how success works. Success is earned, not given. Excellence is achieved, not inherited. Greatness is developed, not discovered. And all these things require you to push yourself beyond what you think is possible. Let me ask you a question. What's the biggest goal you have right now? What's the one thing that, if you accomplished it, would make you feel like you had truly pushed yourself and made something happen? I want you to think about that goal for a moment. Now, let me ask you another question. What's stopping you from achieving that goal? Is it lack of knowledge? Is it lack of resources? Is it lack of time? Or is it lack of commitment to push yourself consistently toward that goal? In most cases, it's the latter. Most people have access to the information they need. Most people have access to the resources they need. Most people have access to the time they need. What they don't have is the commitment to push themselves consistently toward their goals. They start strong, but they don't finish strong. They get excited in the beginning, but they lose steam in the middle. They make promises to themselves, but they don't keep them. They have good intentions, but they don't have the discipline to follow through. But that doesn't have to be you. You can be different. You can be the person who pushes themselves when others quit. You can be the person who keeps going when others give up. You can be the person who makes it happen when others make excuses. The key is to understand that pushing yourself is not about perfection. It's about progression. It's not about never failing. It's about never giving up. It's not about being the best. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Every time you push yourself, you win. Even if you don't achieve the specific outcome you were aiming for, you win because you become stronger. You become more confident. You become more capable. You become the kind of person who pushes themselves, and that's the most valuable thing you can become. I want you to understand something about failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Every successful person has failed more times than unsuccessful people have even tried. The difference is that successful people don't let failure stop them. They let failure teach them. When you push yourself, you're going to fail sometimes. You're going to fall short of your goals. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to feel discouraged. But that's not a reason to stop pushing yourself. That's a reason to keep pushing yourself. That's how you develop resilience. That's how you develop character. That's how you develop the strength to handle bigger challenges and achieve bigger goals. Think about it this way. Every time you push yourself and fail, you learn something valuable. You learn what doesn't work. You learn where your weaknesses are. You learn how to do better next time. You learn that failure is not fatal. You learn that you're stronger than you thought you were. But if you never push yourself, you never learn these lessons. You never develop this strength. You never discover what you're truly capable of. You stay safe, but you also stay small. You avoid failure, but you also avoid success. The question you have to ask yourself is this: would you rather fail while pursuing something great or succeed at something mediocre? Would you rather push yourself and risk disappointment or play it safe and guarantee regret? I can tell you from experience that regret weighs much more than failure. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. The pain of pushing yourself is temporary, but the pain of not pushing yourself is permanent. So how do you develop the ability to push yourself consistently? How do you build the mental strength to be done this to be done when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not? First, you have to develop a compelling vision for your life. You have to know what you're pushing yourself toward. You have to have a clear picture of the person you want to become and the life you want to live. Without a compelling vision, pushing yourself becomes just hard work. With a compelling vision, pushing yourself becomes an investment in your dreams. Your vision has to be bigger than your current circumstances. It has to be more powerful than your current limitations. It has to be more compelling than your current comfort zone. It has to pull you forward even when everything else is pushing you backward. Second, you have to develop strong reasons why your vision matters to you. You have to connect your goals to your values. You have to understand not just what you want to achieve, but why you want to achieve it. Your reasons why will sustain you when the going gets tough. Your reasons why will push you when you don't feel like pushing yourself. Third, you have to develop the discipline of daily action. You have to commit to doing something every day that moves you closer to your goals. It doesn't have to be something big. It just has to be something. Consistency is more important than intensity. Daily disciplines compound over time to produce extraordinary results. Fourth, you have to surround yourself with people who will push you to be your best. You have to distance yourself from people who accept mediocrity and embrace people who demand excellence. You become like the people you spend the most time with, so make sure you're spending time with people who will challenge you to grow. Fifth, you have to develop the habit of celebrating your progress. You have to acknowledge every step forward, no matter how small. You have to recognize that pushing yourself is worthy of celebration regardless of the outcome. When you celebrate progress, you reinforce the behavior that creates progress. Sixth, you have to learn to push yourself even when you don't see immediate results. Success is rarely linear. Progress is rarely visible in the short term. Most people quit right before they're about to break through because they can't see the progress they're making. But if you keep pushing yourself consistently, the breakthrough will come. The truth is that most of your growth happens in the invisible moments. Most of your strength is built when nobody is watching. Most of your character is developed when you choose to push yourself even though nobody would know if you didn't. This is what separates those who make it happen from those who wait for it to happen. This is what separates those who create their destiny from those who accept their circumstances. This is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. The world needs you to push yourself. The world needs you to discover what you're capable of. The world needs you to make your unique contribution. The world needs you to become the person you were designed to be. You have gifts that nobody else has. You have experiences that nobody else has had. You have perspectives that nobody else can offer. You have a combination of talents, skills, and abilities that is completely unique to you. But none of that matters if you don't push yourself to develop it and share it with the world. Think about the people who have made the biggest impact on your life. I guarantee you that every one of them pushed themselves beyond what was comfortable. They pushed themselves to learn new things, to develop new skills, to take risks, to serve others, to make a difference. They didn't settle for average. They pushed themselves to be exceptional. Now think about this. Someone is waiting for you to push yourself. Someone is waiting for you to become the person you're capable of becoming. Someone needs what you have to offer, but they can't receive it until you push yourself to develop it and share it. Maybe it's your children who need to see an example of what it looks like to push yourself toward your dreams. Maybe it's your spouse who needs you to become the partner you're capable of being. Maybe it's your employees who need a leader who will push them to achieve their potential. Maybe it's your community that needs someone who will push themselves to make a positive difference. Whoever it is, they're counting on you. They need you to push yourself. They need you to make it happen. They need you to become the person you were meant to be. But even if nobody else needed you to push yourself, you would still need to do it for yourself. You would still need to do it because that's how you honor the life you've been given. That's how you maximize the time you have on this earth. That's how you avoid the regret of knowing you could have been more but chose to settle for less. You see, at the end of your life, you won't regret the times you pushed yourself. You won't regret the risks you took, the challenges you faced, the goals you pursued. You'll regret the times you didn't push yourself. You'll regret the opportunities you missed, the dreams you abandoned, the potential you left undeveloped. So here's my challenge to you, starting today. Commit to pushing yourself. Commit to doing one thing every day that challenges you to grow. Commit to stepping out of your comfort zone regularly. Commit to pursuing your goals with intensity and consistency. Commit to becoming the person you know you can be. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for more time, more money, more knowledge, or more confidence. Don't wait for someone else to give you permission or encouragement. Don't wait for motivation to strike or for the stars to align. The time to push yourself is now. The time to make it happen is now. Remember, you don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You don't have to have all the answers to begin. You don't have to feel ready to start. You just have to be willing to push yourself beyond where you are right now. Every expert was once a beginner. Every champion was once someone who refused to give up. Every success story started with someone who decided to push themselves beyond what they thought was possible. You have that same power. You have that same potential. You have that same opportunity. The question is not whether you can push yourself and make it happen. The question is whether you will. The choice is yours. The time is now. Your future is waiting. Push yourself. Make it happen. Become the person you were meant to be. The world is waiting to see what you're truly capable of, and so are you.